Women, we've got to speak up, use our voices, and say what we want and what we need and where we desire to go in our careers or in our businesses. Because if you don't, nobody else will for you.
If you don't toot your own horn, nobody else will. We have Colleen Biggs with us today. She's the Chief Inspiration Officer at Lead Up for Women, and she is the founder of this amazing organization that helps really to bolster self-esteem and to boost confidence for you women who need to be doing that to build your business. And Colleen, let's start talking about tooting our own horns. Why do we resist doing that for ourselves?
I really feel like why we limit ourselves on tooting our own horn is because for years and years and years, if you grew up in my era, I was taught that if we toot our own horn, we're selfish. No one wants to be known as being selfish. So we serve others, we take care of others, we nurture others, we want to help our teams grow, we put them in the spotlights, and all along we have the confidence in our abilities and our skill set, and we put our heads down and we work really, really hard. For over 30 years, Cheryl, I was in corporate America, and that's what I did. I put my head down, I was confident in my skills and my abilities. I never even realized that I lacked self-esteem, because self-esteem is different. Self-esteem is believing in our worth, not necessarily believing in our skills and what our abilities are. So when we talk about self-esteem, it's separate from confidence. And I love that in a previous conversation you had mentioned Jennifer Lopez, because we think of Jennifer Lopez and she's this amazing icon of a female that supports female empowerment and women empowerment and being a strong female to make your own choices and empower yourself. Yet she was very confident, also lacked self-esteem. So let's take note of this, ladies. Are we lacking self-esteem? Meaning, are we not stepping into the spotlight and promoting ourselves? Are we not taking the steps to toot our own horn? Passing up on those opportunities because we see that as being selfish versus an opportunity for us to be able to climb the corporate ladder or bring on a new client or get into another community of opportunity to really spread our circle of influence.
And I know that this is what you help women do now through Lead Up for Women. And I know that you climbed the corporate ladder yourself, but it wasn't until you really dialed into how you could promote yourself within your organization. So what was the impetus for you to say, I got to promote myself, otherwise no one else will?
Yeah, I watched everybody else around me getting promoted. I mean, that's probably the one single thing that started happening. I was always helping and serving others and putting them in the spotlight. And then I realized, why aren't they promoting me? Why don't they realize the millions of dollars I'm bringing this company, the worth that I am? Why are they not seeing this? And I realized, well, maybe you haven't said anything. Duh. So I literally said nothing. I never sent emails that said, by the way, did you see that I closed this deal 2 weeks early? That's a great first step. I didn't do that. So what I did was, I kind of went like, go big or go home. So I contacted the executive team, got the shareholders and everyone, and said, let's just sit down for 2 hours and talk about how awesome Colleen is. And I had a Vote for Pedro shirt, like Napoleon Dynamite. And I had it up on the slides, and it was, it was humor to kind of like get everybody comfortable. But I sat and I talked about all my accomplishments before I came to that company. I talked about my accomplishments during the time I've been at the company, and I talked to them about what I wanted, where I wanted to go, what position I saw myself in that company. I laid everything out on the table and really left it in their hands. And each one of them I interviewed with after that and had a small conversation, and they said, we're really happy you brought that forward to us because we didn't know. So we assume that others know what we want. Women, we've got to speak up, use our voices, and say what we want, what we need, and where we desire to go in our careers or in our businesses. Because if you don't, nobody else will for you.
Yeah. And what you're really, what we're really talking about here is assertiveness, like that we had to take the reins and how can women who are building their businesses, how can they apply those principles of assertiveness to help them actually grow their business? What does it take? Because there is a fine line between being too promotional, but also being assertive and showing, what you're worth.
Yeah, it's baby steps. So that's how I built my self-esteem, was really taking those baby steps in corporate of sending those emails of accomplishments I had taken. You don't have to sit everybody down for 2 hours and have a conversation. You can take little baby steps. So if you're in corporate and you're watching this, absolutely taking those baby steps and working with your supervisors and sharing what your strengths are, sharing what your desires are. Women, if you own a business, one of the best ways for you to build your self-esteem is to talk to the people that you've worked with already. Why do they love you? What have they accomplished in business working with you? What have your products or services done for them? How has it changed their life? Ask them, collect those testimonials. They want to tell you. They are like your biggest advocates. Collect those. First of all, watch them yourself and then utilize those videos to attract new clients. Testimonials is the easiest, simplest way to not only build your self-esteem, but also build your business clientele, because you let your clients tell other people why you're so awesome and why they should work with you.
And you know what? I mean, that's just scratching the surface of other strategies that you could use to really bolster your self-esteem. And so if people want to get in touch and learn more about those other strategies, Colleen, how do they get in touch with you?
We are Lead Up for Women everywhere. So I invite you to go to leadupforwomen.com. You can directly contact me from my website. You can schedule a 30-minute call with me from my website. You can follow us on every social media outlet. All you have to do is type in Lead Up for Women and you will find us.
Great tips and great story. Thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl.